that everything's recording. We'll just do a quick little check. Hello, everybody. Internet.
Howdy. Hello.
I think everything's making noise.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
I think so.
I think we're pretty good.
Awesome.
And okay. All right. Okay.
Did I put my drinks?
It was here a second ago. And
It was.
Is it over there?
No. Under my chair.
We have the case of the missing drink.
Oh no. I swear I just had it too. That's weird.
Okay. This is the first time I've had to help a guest.
Did you stand up?
No, I didn't.
Is it maybe?
Oh yeah, it is. There it is. It ran away from me.
Clear. Like visible. Okay.
We found the hidden water.
Wow.
Hello and welcome to Start the Beat with Sykes. My name is Sykes and this is my podcast. Before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick moment to thank everyone who checked out the last episode. If you're one of those people, I hope you enjoyed the conversation and thanks so much for coming back. But for those of you out there who are new to the show, welcome. Please feel free to make yourself at home, and as always, there's beer and soda in the fridge. Cheers, my friends.
All right.
We have
Cheers.
a medley of waters. And I do apologize in advance for my calmer demeanor on this intro today. I am not sick. I'm just feeling a little chill, and I got 4 shows in the next 4 days, so I'm trying to keep my voice chilled the F out.
Yeah, like
I'm not
one-
trying to be blown it out yelling on a podcast.
Good idea.
Plus, it's the middle of the day. The weather's nice. We were talking about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Beautiful.
just
Beautiful.
keep it chill. Just keep it chill.
That's right.
How you two doing?
Doing well. How are
Chill,
you?
definitely.
Killer. I'm killer. For those of you out there in the internet land, I'm sitting here today with my buddies Brian and Conner of the band Frame and Mantle. Make some noise for the internet. For those of you not in the know, Frame and Mantle is a insert genre that you want to describe yourselves as.
We kind of shied away from saying something specific, but I keep seeing this thing that people use post-emo. And I like that because like that's a huge influence for me. Like all those early 2000s like emo rock bands.
Yeah, totally.
alternative.
Yeah. Kind of an amalgamation of post rock, indie rock, second wave emo.
Yeah.
Just
I feel like it's so funny because with we'll take like rap or hip hop for example.
mhm.
Like rap and hip hop has always been, it's always like, oh, this is rap, and it sounds completely different than what rap was 10 years ago.
And you know when you're not listening to rap.
Yeah, but everybody still calls it rap. But rock kind of got into this weird thing where it just keeps getting divided by subgenres and all these different categories, because it's like I listen to your music and I'm like, oh, they're a really cool rock band, a cool indie rock band, but it's like that's not good enough to explain things when you're talking or promoting the rock music to people. You got to be like, no, post emo. You got to be very hyper specific, but you don't have to do that with rap, which is really weird.
Yeah, it seems like, I don't know. I guess it's just because it's in the public consciousness.
Yeah.
And people are just more willing to be like, yeah, this is the sound of rap
I mean,
today.
yeah, I
and
guess
that's
there's
rap.
like SoundCloud rap and like
Lo-fi,
indie rap and
bedroom
lo-fi.
rap.
Yeah, I guess there's all. I don't know.
It's
I
all
just,
over-
I just
yeah.
had a thought and I'm just throwing it out there into the world. But y'all are here because you have a new album that just came out
That's right.
on the
that's right.
14th. Today is the 16th. That album is called Lost Under Nighttime Sky. What can you tell me about this fucking record?
A lot. There's a lot we can tell you
Seems like
about
there's a
this
lot of
record.
work that went into it.
So yeah, it was interesting. A lot of the work was already done before I even came onto the scene with this band. They had
Right,
like
yeah.
the whole album minus like one song already written and like demos recorded and stuff. And
Without any lyrics or vocals.
Right.
It was all instrumental.
How long had you been working on it before Conner joined?
So it's funny because there are versions of songs that are on the record that we started writing in like 2015.
Okay.
So I guess there have been like 3-ish writing sessions for this album too. Like going into it, there was like a phase in 2015 where the band wrote a few songs, and then another one in 2016 after we released our EP. We kind of had some demos, and song ideas that we were fleshing out on the road. And then we took about a year off. We were living in Erie. Our band was from Erie originally.
Yeah.
And the majority of the band had moved down to Pittsburgh by 2016, and we had taken a year off. And then writing picked up again in 2017 when our drummer moved down, my brother, Mark. He was living in Erie still after he graduated college in 2016 and had just gotten a job right out of college. So he stayed up in Erie for a year to like make some money and get his, footing so he could move down to Pittsburgh and
I'm guessing
be in financial shape.
I'm guessing like everybody in the band's maybe in their like early to mid 20s at this point.
That was in 2014 then. Is when the band started.
Well, at this point, because that's a very complicated time, I think, to be trying to do anything because there's so much shit that's changing. Fucking if you're in school, if you're moving, jobs, all these things, trying to play in a fucking band is a fucking nightmare. If you're trying to like keep your life together outside of the band.
Yeah, I just graduated from college in 2013.
Congratulations.
And it was a time.
What did you become when you grew up?
I make maps for Uber.
Whoa.
Right now. So
okay.
The driverless cars.
That's pretty intense.
So,
tight.
Yeah, it's cool. I like my job. I work with really cool people, and it's never saw myself doing this. Obviously, my first job out of college, I was working for an electric company doing mapping and a lot of field staking. So I'd go out in the field and like GPS point like where electric poles would be out in the field. That was a big part of my job there. So, and it was like a half hour south of Erie. That's where I used to work.
Okay.
Out in the fields and the cornfields or whatever they're growing out there.
Well, I guess that makes sense. Like, now you're in Pittsburgh, so it's like, hey, Uber, Erie, I guess, fields,
water.
Yeah, water. Conner, what were you up to prior to coming into Frame and Mantle?
Prior to this, I had been in a band called Rotations for a while with Liam, who is also in this band. He's another guitarist. He's overseas in Qatar with Air Force Reserves right now. But so Rotations broke up in, I want to say 2017. No, it was like just after New Year's Day on 2018. And eventually, a couple months later, when he was getting back into music stuff, he messaged me. He was like, hey, this band, Frame and Mantle, we used to play with them before you were in Rotations. And it's weird, like the
That's
weird little web.
Liam. Yeah. He was filling in for our friend's band, Mallory Run. They're from Erie too. Edinburgh. They always like to rep Edinburgh. But he was filling in for them.
So Liam told me that you guys were looking for a singer. And I was like, well, I mean, sure, I'd love to be in a band again. And I met up with them and started coming up with lyrics for songs that they'd already had recorded and just kind of went from there.
That must be nice to just be like, here's a hot potato.
Honestly, it's the best part about it because like Brian and Mark and the bassist Brad, they're just very talented musicians, and they're also like they've been friends since high school. And
been friends
before
with
that,
my brother.
Yeah,
just since high school.
You chose to be friends with him at some point. I know what that's like.
Can't choose your family. No, he's cool.
But
awesome.
They're very talented and they know each other well, so that makes them a really tight group to play music with. And them having these songs that are already mostly fleshed out. Yeah, it was like a little, not even hot potato. I didn't want to give it to anyone else. I was like, this is a lovely package.
Yeah,
and it was a great opportunity to flex my own creative muscles.
Cool. So once you got into the band, how long did it take to get the songs written and get this album put together? What was like the end part of the writing process and recording like for you guys?
The same thing, I think.
It was only a matter of 6 months between you joining and us entering the studio, I think. And you were on pace with like 2 songs a month or so. Like,
yeah, I mean,
vocally.
I definitely wrapped up some of the lyrics like with a week of recording, but it went well. Yeah,
and we recorded with Matt Very.
Yeah,
and he definitely helped like pinpoint areas of the songs like vocally to kind of develop a little more, flesh out a little more, and also like kind of build on. like a lot of harmonies and stuff that we didn't even come into the studio really knowing that.
I've tracked a lot of
We-
vocals with Matt Very.
We
He could
saw-
be a real motherfucker, but it's good. It's good though. It's good to have somebody that cares.
Yeah, I'd have never
It's
would
good
have
to
put
it's good to have
myself through
someone
that.
who will say
Yeah.
no, do that over again because
Absolutely.
he
yeah.
knows you can do better.
Absolutely.
And we had well, I was gonna say it was like our album was the sheet we held up, and he kind of like poked in the holes and was like, "We need to patch this and this and this," but it was a beautiful quilt when we were done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
we
was
saw
much-
your face in the hallway a bunch too.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I think, yeah, my face is in the hallway. That's funny. So I'm glad that you did track it with Matt Very because I think that, you know, the style of music that he works best in really suits what you do really, really well. So when it came to recording in, you know, aside from, you know, vocal and lyric changes, what were some of the things that maybe changed musically in the recording process that you weren't expecting? Whether it be something with songwriting specifically or maybe just something about just like approaches to like playing and things like that.
You spent a lot more time with him than I did.
Yeah, I recorded all the guitars for this album. And it was mostly a lot of fine tuning things. We had like 6 different amp setups for the whole album. And I think there's a minimum of 4 amps on a song. So we're going through just dialing in little things as we go and like swapping out pedals here and there and trying different little, I don't know, tone changes and effects that I didn't really know. I think the biggest like change effects wise was there's a song called The Hourglass, track 6. And there's like a bridge section that's kind of like ambient, hypnotic, dreamy. Going into it, I didn't really have any effects on it. It was just like a clean guitar with like a bass loop kind of thing.
A
And
little jangly.
yeah, Connor's singing over it. So we really layered the effects on deep with that one. A lot of tremolo, a lot of like hall reverb, and
Yeah.
it was just a lot of fun trying to pinpoint what the part needed. Because going into it, I was just like, this one's kind of, I don't know what this one needs. So that was the most fun I had, I think, with experimenting.
There's just sometimes where like, as much as I like to be an advocate for saying like, you know, you got to have that song 110% done before you even think about going to the studio. There's just some things that you cannot work out in a practice space. It's impossible because you don't have 6 amps set up at all given times and you don't have this like wide array. Well, some people might have a wide array of expensive guitar pedals to just play around with, but not everybody does. So it's really cool to be able to take that extra time in the studio with somebody who's willing to take that extra time with you to like, you know, craft something even better than what it came in as.
Oh yeah. That was, yeah.
I would say
really
the
cool.
other part that we kind of played with and didn't have any expectations going in was the horns. So that was like whenever Brian told me that they saw themselves as like post rock, I kind of got that idea to like use a horn that is like not ska.
Yeah.
Is that a genre, not ska? But
Post-emo / not ska.
yeah, we ended up using Brad's trombone too, and I didn't expect that. I've never really played a trombone, but I played a couple trombone parts on some of the tracks.
Right,
Okay.
Yeah, we were doing a little bit of the horn stuff on our EP, more for like,
Right.
it was like the intro song and like the last song, kind of like the end part of the last song. There was like a fade out, like a long LA fade out, just like with the trumpet part. But we wanted to make this more of a melodically, because the EP was more like a post-rocky, like
there's a spoken word song.
yeah, there's like, yeah, kind of like a Listener, a lot of Dispute-ish kind of song on that too. That was more of us kind of seeing like what we wanted to do. Like the EP was more just like trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then yeah, with this one we were like, we wanted to be more vocally driven. So going into the writing process, my main thing was to just give the songs space and allow there to be like not necessarily verse chorus parts, but like parts where vocals could fit and also be kind of like I don't know, hooks for vocals and
Mhm.
stuff can fit on top of the songs and the arrangements.
I think that's really, I mean, that's really intelligent and super thoughtful of you, Mr. Guitar Player, because I've played in a good handful of bands with guitar players that don't always understand that.
Yeah, no, yeah, like the EP, like we didn't give that thought at all. Like we just wanted to be like an instrumental band with periodic vocals, because bands that we really were trying to emulate were kind of like Explosions in the Sky, or even like a band like And So We'll Watch You From Afar that have like periodic,
Yeah.
vocals
That
here and
band
there.
is so sick.
Yeah, right.
They're such a good live band. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw them at Audio Tree Fest 2015. I was like front row.
Oh, cool.
Rory, the guitarist, was like right in my face with that fucking telly, just like, I think his guitar was like 3 feet from my face. And I think there's a video of their set Audio Tree put up, and it's me and my friend Mike Iverson, who's in the band Flower Crown, just like up front, like jamming out so hard, like watching them.
I'm
See
just
the back of
happy
my
that
head.
I'm just happy that you finally mentioned a band that I've heard of.
Oh.
Flower Crown I've heard of, but no, it's cool because I mean you were talking about a lot of Erie bands. That's like the area where
Yeah,
the band
yeah.
started from. So I imagine there's probably a whole plethora of bands from that area around that way that maybe don't make it down here that often, and I just have no idea about. It's crazy, like how big of a world just exists like a couple hours north, or if you go west or east, anywhere. There's so many fucking bands.
Oh, for sure, yeah. When Frame and Mantle was starting out, a couple of the bands that we used to play with a lot were Barlow. Barlow is down here now.
Yeah, I know. I know that name.
A lot of them have moved down to Pittsburgh. Also, Wave Trails. They're like a psychedelic kind of like super punk, like freak outs, like psychedelic freak outs. They're awesome. I love them, and they're all like really good friends. Like Mark went to college with a couple of the guys in that band, and that's how we met. And, but yeah, what were you gonna say, Connor?
I totally
don't
forget
remember.
now.
But yeah, also
I was
yeah.
gonna say that Richie was in.
Richie
he's
from
in
Flower Crown, yeah.
Okay.
He's the guy that I replaced as the vocalist.
Gotcha.
Richie was our vocalist from 2014 until about 2018 when he decided to focus on Flower Crown.
Gotcha.
So
Cool.
and we also the Frame and Mantle lineup, like the rhythm section, like Brad and Mark are working with his band Myers. They're like a stoner metal.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen Myers.
band. Yeah. Yep.
He's got a lot of hats.
Yeah,
Musical
and he was
hats.
also doing Frame and Mantle, like helping us write some of the songs for this album too at the time.
I always,
So he was in like 3 bands at once, and
I
I was
always,
like, "How are you doing this?"
yeah. I mean, I shouldn't really talk because I'm technically, I'm in 2 bands, but I have a new project that I shouldn't be talking about. But
Ooh,
anyways,
exclusive.
We won't twist your arm.
a new
we'll listen.
a new project that I'm working on behind the scenes.
right.
So technically, I am in 3 musical projects right now, right?
Mhm.
But I always joke about how things would be a lot easier if we all were just in one band, because we're just like I don't know how to put it. We're like bottlenecking ourselves when it comes to like opportunity, but maybe not.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, 'cause
It's like
we're
not. It's not like the best way to think of it. It's just kind of funny to think about how it's like, there's only so many venues, only so many spots for bands on shows, and we all need to have 3 different bands. It's chaos.
There's certain genres that just do better than others.
It's just chaos.
But also, yeah, like conflicts with schedules. Like
Uh-huh.
maybe your one band is playing this one night, and then there's like an opportunity to play a show with this other band that your other band could fit in with, and you're just like, well, I already booked this other show. And
But no, I mean, ultimately, I just think it just boils down to people being really passionate about wanting to play, and people
for
maybe
sure.
wanting to do, different styles of things that don't quite fit together. Like
Mhm.
I like ranch dressing. I like ice cream. I'm not going to put them in a bowl together.
Someone call Millie's. They'll do it.
Shout outs to Millie's. Millie's is that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I work like
I love it.
a block away from the downtown one, and it's tough not to go like get a taste every day.
Okay. What's your adult life like?
So I'm 30 now. I just turned 30 this year. It's
Congrats.
yeah, it's weird because I still feel like I'm mid 20s, and I'm definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you look like you're 24.
I appreciate.
How old do you think I
didn't know
am?
you're older than me.
I would say no older than 32.
33.
Dang, I
Oh.
was wrong.
Gonna
but
be
pretty
34
close.
next month.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
All right, how old are you, Brian?
I'm 28.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Wow, you both are young bucks. So you're like, you must be eating well, taking good care of yourselves. Let's talk about that. What
Try
are you
to.
eating to keep these youthful looks?
Blue Apron. Yeah.
Sponsored by Blue Apron.
I still haven't done that free trial, by the way. I
Should.
need
I'll
to do
send you
that.
the code again. But no, my job, besides being 30 years old, is I work at a software company downtown called Teletracking. We make software for hospitals to like expedite patient flow, reduce wasteful spending, and give more time back to nurses and other healthcare providers.
Wow,
Yeah.
that sounds so wholesome.
I've been there for over 8 years, and that's like the wholesome. Yeah, like the wholesome aspect is definitely like makes it easy to stay because our mission is cool.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate
I
it.
definitely get behind that. But let's not sidestep this. Food.
Food.
What the fuck are you eating? You both look great.
I mean, I try to eat more like whole foods, like fresh cooked stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
What are your lunch breaks like downtown?
That varies. Like today, before we came here, we had Forbes Tavern, which is like bar food.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I had a buffalo chicken wrap.
I've never
Yeah.
been to
Nothing
Forbes
crazy.
Tavern. Is that downtown?
yeah.
On Forbes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Go figure.
I
You know,
think it's new. It's pretty
Oh,
new.
okay.
it's fairly new, like
Yeah.
less than 2 years old, I want to say.
Yeah.
But when I'm not like picking at stuff downtown and like trying to save that for dinner, yeah, I like to cook at home a lot.
Hell
Me and
yeah.
My partner,
Blue Apron?
really, yeah.
Hell
Blue
yeah.
Apron. It makes cooking easier because you just have like half of your groceries for the week delivered,
Yeah.
and then you just get eggs and veggies and whatever for other stuff.
Well, I'm not trying to make this like a Coke or Pepsi thing, but I'm a Green Chef person myself.
Oh, is that a different box?
Yeah.
But that's not like HelloFresh or
It's owned by HelloFresh.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
They're competing with themselves.
Yeah.
Is there like a special?
It's
What's
all
the
like
deal?
special diet stuff. We do the vegan one.
Okay,
Okay.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
It's tight.
We've been picking a lot of the vegetarian vegan. Like I haven't professed to be vegetarian or vegan, but like me and my partner, we go out of our way to like try to include that.
Yeah.
And we can't like I think the last remaining Blue Apron in my fridge right now is Beyond Burgers.
Cool.
And we had them last week too, and it's good. I just appreciate having those fun ingredients and
Yeah.
I have like a really big stack of like recipe cards.
Yeah, we keep all of ours as well. They're just in the cupboard.
Yeah.
We're not vegan either, but I just like cooking and trying to eat as much as I can at that. Like learn a lot more about cooking, making that sort of stuff than
Absolutely.
you do other things.
Yeah.
At least for me. You cook a lot at home, Brian?
I don't.
Okay.
But I do eat pretty regimented, like 3 meals a day. So like, breakfast will be
You sound like somebody that makes maps for Uber.
yeah, my morning is just a bowl of cereal, usually Honey Nut Cheerios or something.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
That sweet little bee.
Yeah. Sweet little bee.
You're gonna think about that every fucking
I
time you
am
pour
now.
hormones.
A sweet little bee. Oh God. And then usually, with lunch,
Oh yeah.
we have a catered lunch every day, and it's
I'm jealous
but they
of
have like a
that.
salad bar,
Oh, really?
or like
Okay.
like fruits and stuff.
Is it
So,
like from different places? Or is it like a company, the same company?
Same
Okay.
company every day.
Common.
It's
Is it
usually
like-
common plea.
I was gonna ask if it was common plea.
Yeah, usually it's solid. I'd make sure to throw a salad on my plate every day with the entree.
Yo, I
And
love
that's-
salads.
Me too.
I've been like
Me
really
too.
getting into salads recently. Like super heavy into
They're
salads.
they're versatile, man.
Yeah, I
They're
mean like
super versatile.
yeah, I like the fun salads that don't have like hardly any greens in them. Just like a bunch of fruits or like
Okay.
vegetables, like a glazed dressing, something like that.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's mom, we just went over to her parents' house for dinner this past weekend, and the salad that she made for everyone, it had like little the smallest chopped apples I've ever seen, and like
Oh, yeah.
little tiny, like I don't know if anyone can see how big, but
Yeah,
very small
yeah.
apples
Apples
and
in a
stuff.
salad are so fire.
And toasted walnuts and stuff, and I was just
Mm.
like, this is the kind of salad I want every day. Like,
I don't know if either of you are coleslaw people, but you ever had a coleslaw with apple in it?
I
don't-
don't think so.
Can't recall, but I
I'm
mean,
gonna
that
have
sounds
to-
great.
yeah.
That's good stuff.
Crunchy, sweet.
That's fucking good stuff, dude.
Dude, so I guess you are a coleslaw guy.
Yeah, I like coleslaw.
Do you prefer like the mayo or the vinegar?
Either.
I've had the mix too, and I like that too.
Yeah.
I
But
like the mix. Yeah.
that's one of those divisive foods where it's like,
It depends on what it is. Like, let's say if I'm getting a permane sandwich, I'm happy that it is the way it is because
Right.
there's already other stuff on it.
it's less messy.
But if I'm just getting like a side of slaw, I kind of think I want like
You
I
expect
want
that.
a little bit more body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But
Absolutely.
to wrap up this conversation on food and to get back into the band, but to marry these two topics
Uh-huh.
beautifully
Uh-huh.
after a gig, is there a spot where Frame and Mantle likes to go, crush some food, and celebrate your rocking out together?
I don't think we've done that.
We did that in Toronto. We went to A&W
Uh,
and Mark ate like 2 meals.
I
that
did too.
night.
So
Oh, you
A&W
did?
in Canada has the Beyond Burger.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
they had that before even Del Taco or any of those places,
Yeah.
Carl's Jr.
But so we went to a bar because we had a show in Toronto. Then we went to our Airbnb, and then we went to this bar, and then like 2 a.m. we went to the A&W next
like
door.
24/7 A&W.
I got a
yeah.
Beyond Burger. I sit down and eat it, and the rest of the guys come in eventually. And I was like, I like this so much. I'm gonna go get another one. So I did. I just got another burger and sat down and ate.
Hell yeah.
It was awesome.
the power of adulting.
Yeah, yeah.
And also the power of those strong drinks we had in
Yes,
Toronto.
the drinks in Toronto.
And the legal weed.
Yeah. Something like that.
We went to this dispensary too. It was in like a bakery.
It was like on top of a coffee
yeah.
shop.
Bakery.
A bakery.
They
Yeah.
definitely had baked goods
They
downstairs.
had a bouncer in the bakery. Yeah, you go upstairs to go to the dispensary.
She knew too. We went inside and she was like, "Let me see your IDs. Come here, come here."
Yeah.
Oh, that is so funny.
And then in the dispensary itself, it's like no cell phones. And then our bassist Brad picks
Brad,
up the phone because
standing
the
next to
band
me.
we were on tour with like called him, and they're like, he was like, "What do you want? What do you want?" And he's like standing at the counter, and these
Having a conversation.
people come over, like the workers, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing?"
The dude was like,
Look at
"Yo,
the
man,
sign."
you need to put that phone away right now." And he was like, "Oh my God, I'm so
He hangs
sorry."
up on
He
the
didn't,
guys in the
you know,
other
he's
band.
well-meaning, but
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not.
he was feeling absent-minded even before he bought the weeds.
That's just who he is. He's Bird.
Oh yeah, we can tie that into the band though. Food. So Brad, he's been working at a couple different catering places, right? Or at least one.
Yeah, he's working at Sausalito right now.
Yeah. So sometimes we'll go over and he'll have like extra food, or he'll just feel like cooking and he'll make food for us. So that's cool.
Yeah, like we'll do dinners before practice a lot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's very wholesome. In my
yeah.
opinion.
That is super
That's
wholesome.
great. Yeah, we try to make it like a once a month thing.
Oh wow!
Not-
I never realized he's like the mama bird. We call him Bird. Apparently, that's his nickname.
Yeah.
Since before
Well, it's
I knew him.
evolved. So in high school, we all called him Brado.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley Osborne, like combined his
Brado.
first name and
Like
first
Karen
initial. Yeah,
Yeah.
Karen O. Yeah. And then
Shout outs to Karen O.
yeah,
What an angel.
We covered yeah.
Oh
Yeahs,
yeah,
actually.
we covered a maps. We covered
Maps,
maps.
Oh,
by
hell
the
yeah.
Yeahs.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so yeah, his name evolved into Birdo in college. Someone just made the connection.
Mispronouncing Brad.
Yeah, Brado, Birdo, and then got shortened to Bird eventually. So now he's Bird, and
Yeah,
he'll never not be Bird. So
he's the mama bird that
Mama
feeds
Bird.
us.
I love the natural evolution of nicknames like that.
Uh
That's always so fun.
huh.
Like whenever somebody gets a nickname they didn't necessarily want and nobody asked for it, it's just through the course of time they became.
Mutates. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So with, being in Toronto in the middle of the night, eating burgers, drinking, doing the thing, playing shows,
Mhm.
you play out of town a lot?
I mean,
We're trying
since
to a little
since
bit.
I joined, we've had what, like 6 or 7 shows, maybe.
Total, yeah. We played in Erie. That was our first show back. That was last Christmas time. We did a Christmas show in Erie. So we've also played in Buffalo and Toronto.
Mhm.
All of our other shows have been in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we played at Smiling Moose, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. before Conner joined, when we were 4-piece, we toured a little more. Our first run was like an East Coast thing where we went from like Buffalo, Philly, all the way down to like North Carolina. Did a few shows in like Wilmington, Raleigh, Virginia Beach, and then made our way back up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense because obviously you've been in like this transitional period trying to get things together, and probably the worst idea is to tour when you're a band that has like material that doesn't reflect what you're currently doing, and to not have anything new to give to people. Like, there's no point in that.
We did like a limited cassette run of our EP when we were kind of like in our rebound stage, like before the record, like up until now, that's about all we've had to promote, which isn't much because we didn't really give much of a promotional push to the EP.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that's changing, and people are going to be able to, listen to our new album and learn it, and hopefully, connect with it. And we'll be playing more shows for sure.
Definitely, which people can listen to the album now.
Oh,
I'm assuming, on all the
streaming platforms,
all the places where people can hear albums.
They can pick up a beautiful purple vinyl.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Do you want to show them?
Sure. Oh, there it is. So
it's a record. These gentlemen got their record pressed. So let's talk a little bit about this.
Yeah.
The physical format. Was this a independent excursion here for you guys?
This was all self financed, no label.
With that Uber money.
we all pitched in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a 10-track album, 5 songs each side. And the artwork is by our friend Brian Morgante. He's
another Brian.
Right, yeah.
Make the world go round.
He's out there killing it with Flesh and Bone.
Oh, okay.
He's done a bunch of artwork for like even bigger bands like Born of Osiris.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then the vinyl itself we had pressed by Musical out of Columbus.
Yep, I know them.
They did a really great job for a very fair price. So here's the
purple.
Check it out. Hell yeah.
It's translucent. You probably can't tell looking on the video.
I could see through it.
Yeah, it's sort of
limited though. We pressed 300 and there's 100 of these that are purple. The rest are black.
Yep.
Awesome. So, is this the first time either of you have had music put on vinyl that you've recorded?
Yes. For me.
I think so. Yeah. I don't think we did vinyl of.
Are either of you big record guys, or
I've been a record collector my whole life.
Okay.
I get that from my dad, who had an obsession with records. And this was when, in the 90s, when I came of age, the record industry had shifted to like CDs.
Yeah.
And he was out there at everyone's everyone's like garage sales buying like totes of records. People were just like trying to get rid of them at that point.
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah.
Here, take all my 60s and 70s stuff. And then, half of it's like dinged up to hell. It's all scratched. And
I love that though. Like,
yeah.
like the scratched records can be a bummer, but like I kind of like jackets that are a little fucked up because it like tells a story.
Yeah.
I like just like imagine like, like it being on the floor and like some like little kid fucking it up or spilling a drink on it. Like there's just like a history behind it. I love like whenever like I grab a used record and someone has their name written in marker on it. It's like, that's such a weird idea. Can you believe there was a time when people would just write their name on things that were theirs?
Yeah, didn't they know how much it was going to be worth?
Yeah.
Especially, because, ring wear. I love seeing the ring wear on like an old, 12-inch sleeve and just knowing that it like, was on someone's shelf. And I don't know.
So you're a record guy. Your dad's a record guy.
Oh, yeah.
Did your dad do any music?
No,
just an appreciator.
Oh, yeah. He loved the Talking Heads and Rolling Stones and like tried to go to all these shows whenever he could.
Yeah.
But my mom was actually, she was in a brass, is it quintet?
What'd she play?
She played cornet. So she was in one in college and they toured a little bit. They played in like New York City. It was at St. Bonaventure University.
Oh, cool.
Allegheny, New York. And that was like her thing in college. It was like the jazz band, the jazz or the brass quintet. And I think she was actually she was in a studio somewhere, got, recorded and that was pressed somewhere. I've seen it, but I don't know I don't have a copy or anything,
Okay.
but I know it exists. My mom was, on a vinyl in the 80s or
That's
something.
awesome. She's even cooler to me now than she was when you were telling me about her earlier.
Yeah.
I
And she
have-
loves Earth, Wind, and Fire. Like, I remember going to see them when I was like 10 years old. My dad got us like scalped tickets to see them in Cleveland. And like, it was like at the Jacobs Pavilion or whatever. And
Cool.
that was like, that show blew my mind. That was rad.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I have an uncle who did music in the 80s, just like new wave type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I had posted, he had a copy of a record that he put out, a 12-inch.
Mhm.
And when I was visiting him, he had a copy at his house. And I remember I posted a picture of it on Instagram. And I was just like, yo, check this out. This is my uncle's old record from back in the day.
Right
and
on.
then a year and a half later, I get this DM from somebody on Instagram. Because I hashtagged my uncle's name.
Oh, wow.
So they found my post through the hashtag.
Yeah.
And they were like, I just came across a copy of this record at an estate sale and I can't find anything about it. The only thing I've found was like this post that you made. Like, what do you know about
Whoa.
this? And I was just
Whoa.
like,
That's nuts.
that's my uncle. How much money do you want for that record?
That's awesome.
An
So-
estate sale. Where was this?
It was somewhere on the West Coast because
Really?
he,
Oh, okay.
he had been living in LA for a small time.
Yeah.
And the place that he was working at in LA, it was like a record/clothing store. Like if you put like an FYE and a Spencer's together, but made it punk rock in the 80s.
Oh, damn.
You know what I mean? Like that's a really bad description, but you know what I mean? Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Like they probably had like, there's probably, you could buy records there. You could probably buy
Lava lamp.
lava lamp, dildos, whatever you want. I'm sure
Is that the same phrase? Lava lamp dildo?
Lava lamp dildos.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that sounds dangerous.
Yeah. Don't come to me asking for a good time. So yeah, anyways, the place that he was working at, I guess they also had like a little like record label imprint. So they were just doing like small private press, like small runs of things. Like there's probably only like maybe I'd be surprised if there was more than like 150 or 200 copies of that thing. And I guess, maybe just some weird eccentric record collector on the West Coast happened to have it
That's
because it
awesome.
was,
Yeah.
they're probably all floating around in that area. Who knows? Maybe I
Right.
could go to like Amoeba and flip through the used bins and come across a couple copies. I have no idea.
That'd be insane.
Yeah.
What was
If that was
what was the name of his band?
So it was just, he was a solo artist.
Okay, so
Tina,
that's why his name.
yeah, it was
yeah.
Tina Benet.
Tina.
It was like a drag queen new wave crazy stuff.
That is quite
Yeah.
a mashup.
Yeah.
That would probably kill today.
It's very topical. He has a song that it wasn't on that 12-inch, which is I really am mad about. I wish that this song existed on vinyl, but he had a song in the 90s called Hitler's Daughter.
Oh.
Wow.
And it's just like, very talking about, how he/she is Hitler's daughter, and like there's all these like this funny political commentary. It's like very satire and just dancey, like early 90s, just dance shit. Yeah. Fucking psychopath. But
Wow.
Is that on YouTube anywhere?
oh, Hitler's Daughter's definitely on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
but there's a time when you could I don't know. I don't think it would go over so well these days.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Can't joke about anything. Well, you can. You can.
It just depends on how you do it,
It just
Yeah.
depends on who's in the room.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyways, those are people that have nothing to do with anything we're talking about.
True.
But when we're talking about the subjects of like, like social issues, political issues, things like that, how does that come into play, if at all, with your music and your songwriting? What do you typically like to write about?
I mean, what I would like to write about is a lot different than like what I have written about. Like when Brian showed me all the demos and I was thinking like, how am I going to approach this? What I did was looked through like my notes app on my phone, the Google Keep app, and I was like, because from time to time I would just get inspired by something and write down like a little poem or some lines and stuff like that, and that's how I built a bunch of the songs for the album. A lot of it was about like personal issues.
Sure.
like a relationship I was in the past that ended poorly, and it was not just because of like weird relationship stuff. My partner at the time had like a massive brain injury, and I don't want to get too into that, but that's what several of the songs on the album are about. I feel like going forward, I'd kind of want to try to address social issues, like political stuff. Maybe not like on the nose directly, but Liam and I really like this band Somos, and I don't think you would necessarily know from listening to them, but a lot of their songs are really political, and I really like that about them. Like, makes you think, not just like, this person bad, this thing good. It's like,
nuance.
Yeah.
A little more nuance.
Telling a story, putting you in the head of someone else.
It's cool when you can engage with a piece of art and also learn something or get introduced to a world or just a part of society that you didn't realize existed. Like with me, I remember growing up listening to like Rage Against the Machine and System of a Down, and I'm like, these songs are awesome. They're very catchy. What are they talking about? I don't know what these things are. They're using catchy things to get me all hyper aware about, drug reform and all that kind of stuff. Like, what is this? And then you get a little bit older and you start to look into stuff, or you find out about things through other channels and you're like, oh, that's what they were talking about. It's so interesting.
Although that one, the prison, I didn't really listen to System of a Down a lot growing up, but I came back to that song and I was like, wow, why didn't I hear about this? Why weren't people talking about them like pretty blatantly saying like the U.S. is fucking everyone and drug money and all that kind of stuff?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that.
That album came out that was 2000.
Yeah.
Ago,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That explains why I wasn't into it. I was like 11.
That was like 2000, 2001 maybe when that came out. Yeah, that's crazy how time flies. And it's getting even worse now because there's stuff that albums that came out after I graduated high school that are getting really, really old. Have you ever stopped to think about how old Postal Service Give Up is? I was listening to that earlier.
Yeah,
and I was like, this fucking album is 17 years old. What the fuck?
And he's still doing stuff too. Props to him.
Yeah, Death Cab.
But it's weird to think he's 45 or whatever and still one guitar and a lot of complaining.
That's like Weezer. I mean, they're 50 and they're perpetually adolescent, state of mind.
That's a really good way to put it.
Perpetually adolescent. What was your take on their covers record?
I've only listened to it through this podcast. It was called What's With These Homies, talking about Weezer. And they played parts of the songs, and I was like, this is just them literally straight up doing a karaoke version of the songs. Like
the Africa one.
Yeah.
It's well recorded and it sounds good.
Yeah.
But it's not adding anything to it.
Not at
which
all.
Is what usually you try to look for in a cover. What are you adding to this? How do you make it?
Yeah, they're not doing Weezer Blue Album versions of songs. It's just them doing the song.
I can tell you this. My thought when I listened to it, I enjoyed it, but from the perspective of thinking about being in the band and how much fun it probably was to just be in the studio and
playing
record all that stuff and try to listen to the song and think about how did they get that synthesizer sound and messing around with stuff and
yeah, they're definitely,
it's probably a good exercise in hanging out and bonding, wholesome.
I always say that about being in a band. If you join a band and you guys don't have a lot of experience playing together, something that really helps you gel is picking a cover and playing that, because everyone will know exactly how the song should go. You can add your own spin to it if you want, but it helps you build a rapport musically. It's cool.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, back to the Weezer thing. I know that they have a history of covering songs too. They've covered Tony Braxton's "Unbreak My Heart" 20 years ago, and they've also covered Paranoid Android by Radiohead, and it's just they go the whole spectrum, and not a lot of it's been released, but I know I've seen some YouTube stuff of them in their practice space. So
Yeah.
I think that's just like their thing. They like to cover songs anyway, and it's like I don't know. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it must be awesome to like do that as a job.
Yeah.
Have you
for
guys
sure.
ever thought about covering any songs?
Well, we did cover that.
Maps, yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
we
just
played
told
that
me
one time
20 minutes ago.
We played that one time in
One time,
Buffalo. That was really fun
Yeah.
because that like the yeah yeahs. It's like 3-piece, right?
Yeah.
And
were
we had
5 people.
so we had extra guitars and
Well, then,
and
yeah, it's
stuff.
like there's 2 guitar parts on the recording too, which
right. But then we
fills it
also have
out.
bass too, and
Oh,
it just
yeah.
it added that like post rock sound kind
Well,
of.
yeah,
to it.
because there's a tremolo pick guitar like through
Right.
the whole song, and it's just like I'm just gonna put reverb on
Yeah.
it like I normally do in half of our music anyway, and like that's because we were like going down like the rabbit hole with like because we were like we should cover a song for the show because we have an
yeah.
interlude on the album. We were playing the full album. We had like a 45-minute set. And
We
we're like,
almost
how are we gonna fill
played
this?
the whole Everlong, right?
We almost played Everlong.
At practice. we didn't make plans to actually
yeah.
play it out, but
I love that
it's
song.
doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot with. Excuse me.
Hmm?
I play in a metal band called Grey Walker, and that
Right,
happens a
Hot
lot.
Sauce Band.
Yes, the Hot Sauce Band,
Tight.
where they'll be playing at practice, and someone will start playing a song, and then they all
Mm-hmm.
then like we'll see how far they can get into it. It's funny. Sometimes they get pretty good at stuff. We came super duper close to covering Jimmy Eat World Bleed American.
Oh, nice.
We never did it. The only cover song we ever ended up recording was we did Under a Killing Moon by Thrice.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Cool.
We actually recorded that and released it. But
That's
other
awesome.
than that, I don't know. We've talked like 1,000 times about covering songs and just never.
How does
Did
that
it.
go releasing a song that is a cover like that? Because like, I mean, you just have to make it not paid or whatever.
No, we paid some money and got the proper licensing so we
Okay.
could do it. It's not a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Our drummer did the research and got everything taken care of. It's not a ton of money. It's like $50 or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then since it's on like Spotify and stuff, and I think that the split just gets whatever to them for their
Mhm.
credits, and then some of it goes to us for being the
Yeah.
performers, and the songwriters get their credits.
Yeah,
Mm.
they get 0.0015 cents, and you get that
Mhm.
something
Yep.
like that per stream.
Yep. Exactly.
We had my old band Rotations had our old EP. I was the one who put it on Spotify, and I could have done better research. I didn't know because you have to go through like the third party kind of thing. I ended up paying like $50 for a year subscription of like hosting our EP, but through however many hundreds of plays we got like $2, I think,
Sure.
for the like 3 years it was up.
Well, I could tell you this: you don't know until you know.
True.
And it's really hard if you're coming up and you're trying to take bigger steps to do things like maybe put your album on Spotify. Maybe other bands, but they're not doing that shit yet. Who knows, So if you don't have people around to ask or get tips from,
Mhm.
you have to make the mistakes, and then
Right.
you could pass the info on.
Yeah, I
Right,
think
all
the
that
one we
stuff.
do now is like $10 a year or something like that. Is it? What is it
I'm
called?
trying to think. Well, you pay a flat fee. It was like $49.99. It's CD Baby, so it's
Oh,
like
right,
whatever their fee to upload it.
Yeah.
And then they take like 9 to 12%
Yeah.
every year, and it's like that equals out to being
Yeah, enjoy that, like 40 cents.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. Like even a few years ago, all that stuff was new, like streaming. Like we used DistroKid, and that was how we put the EP up.
Yeah.
And they're pretty transparent, and also they don't take any money, but also I don't know, they don't have a publishing branch or anything, and you can't like use it to like through CD Baby, which we're using now for this album. We're all signed up through like ASCAP.
Yeah.
So we're all licensed, and we have
I never
publishing.
got that.
Yeah.
I never got that email or that like thing in the mail.
That's weird.
Yeah,
Huh.
you get like a membership card, I think.
Yeah. It's probably coming eventually.
So-
it was some paperwork and stuff to do that through CD Baby, but it's all through CD Baby. You don't have to like
Yeah.
do it yourself, because like if we were to go the DistroKid route, we would have had to go through a separate publisher and then a separate like performing rights organization, and but with CD Baby, they made it easy. It was like all in one. This isn't an ad for CD Baby, I swear. This is just like my experience.
It's cool. I didn't know that CD Baby offered that service. So that's something that's good to know and good for people to hear.
Totally, yeah.
Ironically, we didn't get CDs from them.
They're offering.
They keep sending us emails.
Ad.
I turned off the notifications.
So
They got all those fucking machines just sitting in the warehouse, probably collecting dust. Nobody wants CDs.
They're giving
anymore.
them away.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It would be. I'm like the one thing that I think CDs might still be useful for, and this is just based on my experience. Was I was DJing at a college radio station. My college, we had a radio station, and I was doing like a radio show with my friend Galen, and we did. This was in like 2009, and we were super into like metalcore bands like August Burns Red and stuff. So it was like a 2-hour block of just like metalcore. and the big thing that it was awesome. Yeah. And there was just like a CD library there, and they had like a big CD thing. Like CDs were like, that was like how the radio station I felt like functioned. Like it was all
they
based
have like
around
a
CDs.
6-track loader.
Well, yeah, probably even more than 6.
Whoa.
But I think if that's still the case, like CDs might be useful to send to like college radio stations. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's a small thing. Like you don't like sending that record because it's a lot more fragile.
Yeah. How are they going to play a record on the radio? Too?
Yeah.
It's not 1975.
Yeah. I think that with CDs, it's really interesting because with Greywalker, we sell a lot of CDs.
Oh, yeah.
But we play a lot of metal shows.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of metal shows where there's people there that are between 35 and 45 years old.
And they don't use Spotify.
They have not given up their CDs.
Okay.
It's
much
a nice
like
memento.
your dad didn't want to give up the records.
Right.
It's the next evolution. So there's still a lot of people coming out to those shows that are buying CDs. And since we're playing shows in front of older crowds, we're selling them. And
That's
I don't
great.
know like what like demographic you're typically playing in front of, if it's like a younger crowd, older crowd, or if it's somewhere in the middle, but it might not be a crowd that comes from like an era where like CDs were the shit.
Right.
Definitely people like my friends who are my age would be more likely to buy them, but I guess they all probably have Spotify too, and they don't really need to. It's just like a memento kind of thing, like a souvenir from the show. Like
that's why, like we made cassettes, and I was, so resistant to the ideas of like a cassette comeback because honestly, like, do people listen to cassettes? Now. Yeah, but it's like I've read some stuff, and I've also thought about it, and it's like, if you go to a show and you see a band you like, and you just want to support them, and they have cassettes, and cassettes are so small, you can just throw it in your pocket, and they're cheap, and like we didn't pay that much for cassettes, and like. It eventually made sense to do like a limited run of cassettes just based on that. But like, for like the actual listening, I don't know if anyone's going to ever listen to the cassette, but it's like a cool collector's item. That's really it. I don't know.
I've put out three or four projects on cassette, and I've never listened to one of them on cassette. I just don't have a tape player.
Yeah. Like if cassettes had been like 10 years earlier than they tried to revive them, I would have had like my old Buick Skylark that had the tape deck.
It's a shame though, because actually cassettes sound fucking great if you have a good home stereo. It's a killer format in terms of sound quality. It's fucking excellent, but they're just a nightmare. It's a nightmare to deal with.
Got to rewind it.
Yeah, there's a lot of mechanical things that can go wrong and fuck up. With cassettes,
right?
So it's not very practical in the digital age. But boy, does it sound good when it's working.
Right.
I guess that's like anything, right?
Yeah.
It works when it's working.
Right. It's good when it's working.
So speaking of working, playing shows, gigging out, you got anything coming up that you want to tell the people about?
October 1st, we have a Howler show coming up with The Standby.
Yep. They're our friends from Erie.
Right.
Yep.
It's their first show on a leg tour. It's like after their release, right?
Yeah, because their EP comes out the 6th. It will be out now.
10/6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 9/6.
No, 9/6.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
They've been hyping it up for so long. I figured it was out by now, but
yeah.
But yeah.
I think do we have a thing in November?
Yeah, it's to be announced though. So
Oh, right.
kind of
Top secret.
details.
Top secret.
It'll be cool though. I'm excited about it.
And if people want to check your stuff out, where can they find you?
We are all over the internet.
Facebook, Instagram. I guess we have a Twitter. Do we have a
Yeah, we
Twitter?
do. Yeah.
I'm not on the Twitter.
We're on it.
Every
We're on
band has a Twitter.
I use my old band's Twitter as my Twitter because I don't want to make one for myself. That's like one of the few like new age things that I'm not super into. It just seems like a lot of work to like re up on the followers and people you're following and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, we have Twitter. We have
Yeah.
it's there. No, we tweet, enough regularly. Bandcamp.
Yeah, the album's
there,
on
and-
Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music.
Yeah.
Is it on the Tidal?
Oh yeah, it's on Tidal.
Really?
Yeah. It's
I
on
guess you're
Tidal.
paying for it. Yeah.
I think it's everywhere. Yeah, Amazon, Google.
Zune.
Not Zune. Sorry, Zune users.
And if people want to pick up a physical copy, are you selling that online, or is that like a shows thing?
Yeah, we
both,
have.
yeah.
Yep, we have vinyl on Bandcamp right now. It's there, and it looks sweet, and I'm excited about it. It sounds awesome too.
You should buy it.
Yeah.
Give these wholesome motherfuckers your money. Putting out a record is expensive, and it takes a lot of time to write a record. And it seems like, from what I heard, you put a lot of effort into writing these songs, recording them, doing the good work. You even got a nice music video that we didn't talk about.
We got
that
a
I
couple
saw.
actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We had the one music video that we shot in Erie.
I saw
with
one.
Alex,
I saw
Eric.
one that was in the EPK that you sent me.
Yeah, that
Right.
was our empty video.
Yeah, that's for the first single.
Yep.
And we had a second single, and we also had a third single came out the week before the album.
Yep,
For Mind Clouds. Yeah, it's like a trippy. It's more like a screensaver looking kind of thing, but it's just fun to look at. And it's a short song, so it's like
Cool.
It's got drone footage.
yeah, like
It's super
he
dope.
shot it on his drone. This guy Dustin, right?
Yeah.
And then he like did like a VHS layer filter, and then it's kind of like warpy.
Like psychedelic, like
Yeah.
like some Animal Collective videos I've seen. I was not expecting anything like it, and then I saw it, and I was like,
it was
"This
it's
is
pretty cool
insane."
for like right before the album came out.
yeah."
Awesome. Is that stuff on YouTube?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Frame and Mantle YouTube. Yeah, well, I guess we're on that too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Wow. Wow.
I just wanted an excuse to say like and subscribe.
Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. It's like I that's probably one thing that I should be doing, and I'm actually like, I've been like, I stop myself
From plugging.
every episode being like hey, the internet's rough. If you could like and subscribe and share this with your friends, it would really help boost things in the algorithm. It's very true, but I just don't
Yeah.
want to be the fucking dude to say that.
But you just kind of did. It's subliminal.
They don't gotta know.
No, I completely understand. Oh my gosh.
Well, hey, you know what? I wish you all best of luck with this release. I hope you get to take it out on the road. It sounds really good.
For sure.
And-
yeah.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, boys.
Thanks, Brian.
You're very welcome,
We're
Brian.
making you proud.
And Connor. And that's going to be about it.
Cool.
Sound
Sounds
good?
cool.
Yeah.
Tight.
Right on.
And that is all, folks. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. One more time. Brian, Connor, Frame, and Mantle.
Simon Garfunkel.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thanks for coming by. I'll be
for
back again next week, maybe, or in a couple days. It depends. I don't know. I release episodes like every 3 days now, so I'll just say in a few days. Yeah. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Sykes. Start the beat. 2019. Woo woo! Thanks for listening. And that's slow fade. We're done.
Nice.
That was awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you. That was super cool.
Yes. Never
Great
been on a
setup. I like
podcast.
this setup.